And welcome to F3 Filmmaker Feature Fridays. Here is a platform to champion the telling of Jamaican, Caribbean stories globally, regionally, here at home, because why not? If we don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Who's going to do it first? I agree.
F3 is also a platform to celebrate our local, regional, global Jamaican and Caribbean filmmakers who are making waves everywhere. And that is why our guest today is the one and only Nadean Rawlins. I wish we had like an in-studio audience that could have done like a clap thing.
Applause, stop, and they were quiet.
Nadean is an award-winning actress, director, producer, talent manager with over 2 decades of experience in entertainment, i.e. TV, film, and theater. You've produced and directed about 5 short films. You have two feature films in development. You've done documentaries. Girl, you have been doing a lot.
No.
And your work is amazing. And just now, I remember when we were having this conversation and you were telling me about the guy the DP for Mother of George. What's his name?
Bradford.
Yes.
Bradford. Oh,
and he was, he commended you on the work you did for paralytic and how you did feel nice. Yeah.
Still do. Nobody can talk to me now because he's like.
But it goes to show that you are doing amazing work in the industry, and there are lots of eyes that are on you, including myself, and also because you also serve in a capacity as the president of the Women in Film and Television Association Jamaica. Yeah? Yeah, go on a bag of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the trek.
Of course.
Like,
once it's film, once it's you, girl. I have to come and represent. Love you, Dash. Like for real, like I do.
You do?
I love you. I do, like a long time.
Thank you for saying that. All right, so today we want to kind of hone in on your capacity as a producer director. Break it down for us. What does your role as a producer / director / producer involve?
Okay, well, first of all, I remember when I started out in film, I was told you cannot do both. Yeah, man. I was told you can't do both. You have to concentrate on one. And it took me 7 years to really understand why that was said. But to answer the question, so a director, so I'm a producer. I'm a creative producer, and I'm not a producer. Creative producer is the producer who will be with the director from the onset, from when the director or writer has this idea of a story, or even as a producer, I go out and seek stories, because one of my feature-length film that is in development is actually a play that I was in some years ago, and I've always loved it. So I went out and I saw this play and adapted it as a screenplay. So as a creative producer, I too can go out, find stories, or directors can come to me, and say, hey, I have a story. So I want, as a creative producer, I'm there from development. So, I'm there with them, not writing, but giving my 2 cents as to why, how, what, and trying now to formulate how we would now get to development, then production, pre-production, then production, then post-production. Now, as a director, which is the other hat, that's now the creative. That's when the mind goes wild as to how the story is going to be looking on screen. Now, a lot of times I struggle, like, which one would I prefer?
That was going to be my follow-up question.
And honestly, now I've realized, I got no, you can't do two. That's true. And that's why when you watch a lot of films, and you see, say, for example, Martin Scorsese, he's directing and producing, right? But when you look, you see a string of producers. They're like 10, because you have people who are looking for distribution, doing sales, people are doing fixing, it's a whole thing. So yes, you can do both, but you need a team of people. You definitely do. This is a collaboration, and that's another conversation. But if I were to really choose one, I love producing. like I am a puppeteer. Me like to move the parts. See me? Me love it. Because as a kid, I remember what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a manager. That's what I used to talk.
That's always been the thing.
know.
Wow.
So, I mean, as a creative, what else is a manager? It's a producer, right?
Yeah.
So, producer is really, really what I love. I'm a creative producer by heart. And the script that the film that I will direct, it would be something that really means a lot to me if I go into that area of directing. And if somebody says to me, would you direct something? If it really connects with me, I will. But first is producing.
First love.
That answer your question?
That more than
answer my question. Let me tell you only thing that we can just done right now. But
we are now going to move into our second segment of the show, i.e. Act 2, where we have a little fun and we play some games. So I'm going to ask you to choose a shot, right? I'm going to give you the options. You choose a shot, and whatever question is associated with that shot, you get that question.
Get the
right?
answer.
I ask you the question, and then you give me the answer.
Okay.
But it's about 4 questions now. So you're going to answer all the questions, really.
I'm in the car.
Great.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
Will your first choice be a close-up, a medium shot, a wide angle, or, darling, a Dutch?
I love a close-up.
Oh, you love
I love a close-up.
Aren't they the best shots, though?
I love close-up.
They get you right into the people.
Straight, human, yeah.
It's like you feel them and you don't even meet them good proper.
Yeah.
All right, so here's your first close-up question, Nadine. Why do you make movies?
Oh, wow. Why?
Why do you, Nadean Rawlins, make movies?
You know, the movies I like to make are the ones no one likes to make. So I am very unapologetic, fearless. That's why I am fearless. I am very determined to be that. And so those are the stories I like to make. I like to go into the taboo, into the unknown, into the what's happening over there. Those are the kind of stories this woman likes to tell.
So stories that nobody else wants to tell.
Not
Give us
really.
an example.
Not really.
Give us an example.
Like, for example, the feature I'm working on now, Fallen Angel, Devil Concubine. 2 old women, like old, because ageism is a real thing.
Yes.
Right? When I was doing the dossier, and I was working with the editor and getting this dossier and wanting photos of 2 old women, 1 black, 1 white. We literally searched the internet, like stock images we could not find, like beautiful old women. Can't. So I'm like, Sita, ageism is real. Wait, we see once you reach over 60, I'm sorry to say, it's like you're forgotten. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. So like those stories, you know, ageism, mental health, like dementia, those stories I like to tell. So Fallen Angel is about that. So passionate about that. And of course, I've touched on a lot of queer stories. Those, you know, because, you know, it's because I feel like film, well, I know film explores intersectionality of, you know, like, especially like Jamaica and queerness. Like, we feel like if you're Jamaican, you can't queer. It's weird. And so, like, I like to talk about that.
The things
so
that
those kind of stories,
shy
yeah,
from.
man. Like, you know, poverty, yes, those kind of stories. So,
I'm right there with you with the ageism thing, and I had this experience not so long ago where there's a feature I have, a feature screenplay in development, and a producer looked at it, and one of the things that they wanted me to reconsider is the age of my main character, because she's in her 60s. So apparently, if you have a older leading character, it is less appealing.
Can I tell you, it's real something. Real, and there's a market. There's a silver market out there. People who are that age, they want to see themselves, and people who have parents, grandparents, So let's tell those stories.
True thing.
Show the vein in the hand, man.
Oh gosh, you want me?
Me can't wait. Me say me can't wait.
Me love look at old people.
Me say me can't wait.
Oh wow.
Fish do that film there.
Maybe we can collab on something.
Yes, please.
Like, let's collab on something.
Yes,
let's collab on something. So, you like to tell the stories that not too many lenses are on, right? And in that process, what has been your most challenging experience making a movie?
I used to say funding, but I've stopped that. Because if I want to really make a film, I take my phone and go do it. And call like people like Natasha and your crew here. And I say, listen, me need to make a movie, I only have $20, I can feed or no come. Who love me will come. So it's not that.
True.
You know what it is? it is the process of cinematic storytelling. Let me tell you why I say so. We have a North American gaze of storytelling and story writing. So the man have to jump out of the car and roll and gunshot have a fire and the car have to explode and everything. What about something? Right? But what about the story? The story, what is the core? The story is about a man meet a girl and they fall in love and him dead. But you have to have the car crash over this and you have to have that. And what, we're not coming back to the story. So, and of course, we need budget to tell that story. So the car can't crash. And that's it to me. So my passion, my challenge all the time is cinematic story writing, storytelling. And that's been my challenge. Because right now I have two scripts in development and 2 separate script doctors are looking at them and it's the same feedback. There's so many things happening. Can we get back to story? And I'm like, ugh. So that is slowing my process because writing cinematic stories is hard for us. It's a challenge for us. And so the writing teams that I have on 2 separate projects, it's challenging. But we're getting there.
Explain to us really what you mean when you say writing cinematic stories or cinematic writing, exactly.
It's writing for the screen.
Okay.
You know, when you watch a film, like watch a film, you know, nothing, like I use, for example, Moonlight. Because Moonlight was a case study I had to do in the first film lab I did, which big up Film Lab under
yes.
JAFTA, like big up on itself.
Jam
Jamaica
Pro,
Film and Television Association.
British Council.
Yeah.
Big up
that
on
film lab is on par with the other film labs I've done. I've done Rotterdam, I've done Creators of Color, I've done Locarno. International, yeah, them up there so. So point, go back to Moonlight. If you watch Moonlight, like the first 15 minutes of Moonlight, literally nothing happens. Like really. Seriously. When you read a script, you read like nothing really happens. Like 4 pages of setting up what you're seeing, like the sea and the whatever. And what is it that when the director gets that, director now have to take that. You're not writing for director to direct, you know. If you're not the director, that is. But you have to give the director something to work with. And some directors write, of course, and they would write stage direction. It's just a style of cinematics. You don't have to spell it out. And for stage, oftentimes you have to, because it's usually one place. So you have to be more specific, and there's a lot of, it's usually stages, usually dialogue heavy. If you have like, you know, characters and it's a story you're telling and you need a dialogue to support it. But cinematic storytelling is really what you see. Because a film is pictures moving. Yeah. It's really that, you know. It's the pictures moving, so you have to write the stories like the pictures are moving. Yeah,
exactly.
It's that thing. I'm not a writer. What they tell me?
So it goes back to but you learn enough. It goes back to what we always say: you show, not tell. Understand always that film is a visual medium. And coming from the theater background that a lot of us come from, when we're writing for theater, we're writing for stage, we do tend to put in way more than needs to go in there. And sometimes it gets that it's a prosaic. And so what we're hoping to see develop more and more. And I think it's going to happen here, Nadean, because there's so much that's being, initiatives that are being pumped into or are available for developing writing.
Absolutely. It is so necessary.
Film writing.
Because we have the stories, you know.
Girl,
whole heap.
I'm if I tell you.
Whole heap. It's just to write them, you know, for film.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, next question.
Oh,
that was a nice, lovely close-up question.
Okay.
So, which one you want next? Medium, Dutch, wide?
Give me the Dutch now.
Ooh.
Give me the Dutch.
Let's take it. And this came up earlier too, you know. So, your Dutch angle question today, Nadean, is: would you shoot your movie? Would you shoot your next feature on cell phones?
Yes. Me not adverse. Yes, of course.
Oh.
Of course.
Just like that.
Like, where we reach? iPhone 21?
I think. I don't know.
Where are we?
15?
And look here.
16?
Listen, the one I have a 13, and the way it going, you know, it actually have a cinematic feature, you know. So of course, listen, I would
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
I would. There's no shame in my game in doing that. People do that.
But what I find, and I'm glad you said that, and I'm relieved that you said that. But what I'm finding a lot across, our little neck of the wood is that because we're still very new to the industry,
Yeah.
we love call the big name camera them, and we don't feel like we're doing nothing unless we are
the name, Mama.
Red Ari Alexa. Come on. But
It's true.
And there's value there because we have to be working. We work as a part of a larger industry, but we also need to see where the film industry is going. And people are making epics on these cell phones. These cell phones nowadays are doing some amazing things.
Yeah, and I mean we don't want the director of photography folks to lose work because they're the ones who still would have to angle the phones. You know what I mean, and make sure the lighting is good on the phone,
and composition and
all
of that is still necessary.
Yeah. It's just that this is so expensive.
Yeah,
it
definitely. Cell phones and the quality of cell phones, cinematic phones nowadays, it really levels the playing field.
Absolutely.
And makes the industry more accessible to a lot of people.
True.
And I'm going to ask you. You can pick one last question because timer skip. One last question: is it going to be a medium or a wide?
What me never do. Give me the wide.
You want to go wide?
Give me wide, girl.
Wide angle question is: where do you see the Jamaican film industry in, say, 5 to 7 years?
Oh, booming.
Oof.
Look here. Booming. You see? I have been doing films now since 2020. And since then till now, the amount of films I've seen, people coming up to me who... I'm young in this industry. I'm emerging like most people are. And people who are coming up to me and wanting to do films, have done films, asking me to look at their script. Like, what script I have, the scripting go.
I know.
And so this means that there's interest. And then with all these big productions that came in HBO, Hulu, Paramount, look here. Weird feet, That's why I already up my body, Because you want to dead when it's dropping. Yeah, man, it's going to be great.
I'm
looking forward.
I am definitely enthusiastic about what is going to happen in even 3 years.
Yes.
And I'm really happy that I am where I am now in the industry and I came back when I did.
Yes.
And now for our F3 Filmmaker Challenge. Ready?
No, of course.
So, film is a visual medium. It means that you should be able to look at the images and tell the story even without dialogue, coming from as far back as silent films. So, today's challenge is to tell a 1-minute story in 5 frames. So, Nads, you're going to go outside, roam this wonderful place right here, and you're going to take either 5 still images or 5 moving images, your choice. You are creating essentially a 1-minute film, a 1-minute story in 5 frames.
Got it.
How was the trek outside?
It was good.
You find it? You get your 5 shots?
I have 5. I have the 5 I know I'm going to use.
All right.
Yeah, I have the 5, and it was in keeping with what is happening now in my life. In that, I started recycling. Ooh. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. Just now in my life, me just start recycling. Yeah. Thank you, Natasha, for that. So I started recycling, and I'm so proud of myself. It is so important for us to recycle and preserve this planet.
So, if you were to give it a name your 1-minute film.
It's ours.
And with that,
what would it take for us to start taking care of this beautiful land that has been gifted to us? Just putting stuff away in the garbage, throwing them away. As simple as that. We need to preserve this beautiful land. It's offering everything that is upon it. We need to preserve it. There's no need to destroy. No need to capture. This land, it's ours. Let's take care of it. Because no more no day.
That's definitely an interesting 5-frame film. Nadean,
You say so.
Think of yourself. You're not going too bad.
Yeah.
You're not going too bad.
Too
You're not
shabby.
considering that, it's an on the moment, spur of the moment sort of thing.
Pretty proud of this.
Awesome. So now we're gonna bring this all home, bring this to a close. What is your idea of success? What does is Nadean as a successful producer, director, or a successful producer?
I want to leave a legacy. That's success for me. You know, one thing is promised is that we move on from this world, this life. And when that happens, I want, when I go, I've left a legacy of good work. I've left the shoulders that people can stand on for support so that they too can become, great filmmakers, great producers, just make an impact in this society. And I want to be that legacy. I want to be that person that allows that to happen. I don't want to be forgotten.
Oh, you want to be immortalized.
Yeah, man. I want, and for good reasons, because I've really worked very hard and smartly. My career, I've been around for a minute, and I think I really actualized in my late 40s. And I want to show people that it can happen no matter what. This sounds kind of cliche, but that's true.
If I shoot, I just shoot.
But it's a legacy for sure. When I pass on and go from this earth, I want people to say, Raw Management, Rawlins, Nadean, she did this, and Pitney, great grand from now, them know the name and the work that we've done.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Nadean. And because I know you well enough, I know that it gonna happen. Yeah. Because you have that. You have that no matter what, you are going to get it done.
Thank you.
So big up yourself on that one. I think you touched on this earlier, but I'm going to ask it again nonetheless. The value of telling our own local, regional stories.
Okay, so I've done a couple rounds in the European space, and I go as far as Switzerland to meet Caribbean filmmakers. Can I tell you, that's kind of sad. And we're in a lab with other filmmakers from Latin America and the Caribbean talking about similar stories, like you hear Anansi and somebody from Curacao tell you about Anansi, and you're like, what? It's African, yes? And we're all from Africa, descendants of Africa. But the Europe market, the African market, they're in need of our stories. And we're going there to tell our stories when the region itself, with the diaspora, is what, 40 million people? Like a whole heap away. Like enough away.
We know
for true. And so it is so important for me now that I understand film better, because I'm still learning. Film is still a young industry. It's like 100 years old, so then we still all of we learn.
All of it, we're still trying to find our footing.
From down to me. All of it still I learn. So now that I realize that it's so nuanced and thing, and we still learn, now me know what to do. We want to establish our stories in our region, tell our stories here, and so the world can come to us for it, or we can send it to them if we want.
Yes.
It's up to us, right? But we just need now to plan that structure, how that is going to look, and that's where the work comes in. Because there's still a format, there's still a formula. You know what I mean? And if the wheel not broke, we have to fix it.
Yes.
So I am for Caribbean stories with Caribbean people, Caribbean filmmakers, all of us.
All of us. Because our stories matter.
Yes.
Yeah?
100%.
And finally, one word of advice for an up-and-coming filmmaker, although we will away up-and-coming.
Never stop, no matter what. It gets difficult, Simia. It gets hard. And I know when I say never stop can be, but there is the challenge and all of that. But never stop. And I promise you, you will see your way through. And at the end of it, you're going to be like, I did it.
Don't stop. Want to hear that? Do not stop. Because you can get it if you really want. You can. All right, we're going to stop right there. But try, and you will succeed.
At last.
At last.
Moss.
Awesome. On that note, Nadean Rawlins.
We're done?
Girl. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Filmmaker Feature Fridays, where we champion the telling of local stories, of regional stories, Caribbean stories, and we celebrate our own filmmakers above the line, below the line, like the remarkable Nadean Rawlins. Nadean, as we close out, tell our audience, where can we find you? How do we follow your work, your career, your life? Because you got a pretty exciting life.
I'll do. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm on all social media platforms. My name, Nadean Rawlins. It may be Nadean Rawlins or Rawlins Nadean. But once you type in the search Nadean Rawlins, I'm there. Or my company, Raw Management Limited. So once you type that in, all platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, X.
Everybody.
Everywhere.
Everybody. And please do look out for her. I'm super excited about the projects you have in development.
Me too.
And to you guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Toodles. Look out.
Nicey. It's cute.